And hello everyone, welcome back to another NIM tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be taking a look at the Strscans module. Now this module contains methods that allows us to extract substrings without actually needing to use regex. So let's start with importing, import std/strscans. And then let's say we have a const input, which is equal to just 1, 2, and 4 without spaces. Then we have a variable x, y, z, and they're all int. Now we can check if scanf, and we take an input, and here we can pass in this little bit of syntax here. So when we go $i, not $1, $i, now $i matches a decimal integer. So it will try and match a number. And we can go $i again. Why do I keep saying 1? And then $i once more. We can then pass in where we want to store these results. So in x, y, and z. Then we can echo out has matched. And we can just maybe put a \n and \t there, just to give it some bit of pizzazz so it's easier to tell what's happening. And let's just do 1 for now. Oh, my bad, there should not be a dollar symbol there. There we go. So it will take this input right here, which is this string value, and then these values that we have here will be stored inside of these variables. So this $i will correspond with this x variable, which will be 1. This $i will correspond with this y variable and will be 2. But let's first just test out this and see what happens. And we'll get has matched x colon 1. Because x here would be 1. We can then do the same for y. And then we can do the same for z, just so we can see that we do get what we expect. So now if we were to run it, you'll notice we also get 2 and 4. So it stored these values into x, y, and z. So you might be wondering, okay, in which scenario would something like this actually be useful? Now, in a scenario where you maybe have some sort of input that you know will be a specific structure, such as this, where you have a number or 3 numbers in brackets separated by commas, you know the input will always have this exact layout. So what we can do is we can then use this knowledge to store the values we get from these into these variables. And then we can of course use them as needed. Now of course this can also be a lot more complex. So we can do something similar to variable year, month, day, which are all integers. And why not, let's go like this. Then we have identifier, which is a string, and my float, which is just a float. So then here we can say if scanf, then here we can put an input. I'm just going to put a random piece. Let's actually pass in this input. We don't need a random piece of text. So we're going to pass in the same input, but we're going to expect something different. So then here we can just say $i, space $w, and W matches in ASCII identifier. So in short, if you were to look at this in regex perspective, it would be something like this: A to Z, as well as underscore, and also 0 to 9, and anything that follows. So it's basically any piece of text. So it will try and grab a word. Then we have $s. $s skips any optional white spaces. So basically it just says, okay, just throw away any white spaces we have. So it doesn't store anything inside of a variable. It basically throws away whatever is there. So this $s does not put anything inside of any of these variables. Keep that in mind. And then we can use $f, which is used for floating point numbers. So 0.1516 or 3.14159, etc. any floating point value. We can then of course store all of this in, let's say, year, month, day, identifier, my float. And let's just make this normal casing, there we go. Or even underscore float, whichever floats your boat. Okay. And then we can just echo out, we have a match. So the reason we can use an if statement here, and we can just remove all of that, is because this also checks if the input is what we expect. If the input is valid, it will actually fill these values here with their respective values. So it will fill these variables with their respective values. But if the input is not valid, we won't get anything here. So we can actually say else echo no go. So if we were to run this with this input here, which does not match the input we should be receiving, we'll get no go because it does not match this input. However, if we were to make the input something that we'd expect, so in this case we actually expect a date, in case the year, month, and day did not really explain it. So we would look at something like 2002, 08, 05, because look at the dashes, so it will make sense that we have those. And then this is the word we're going to match, so this will be the identifier. And then 12.30. So let's pass in this input and see if it matches. And we do have a match. So let's parse this and let's see what's happening. So we have this $I, which will try and get a number. So year will become 2002. Then again, we have another $I, which will be the month, which will become 08. Notice we have the dashes here. So we specify that there are dashes there. Then here we have a $I, which will be 5 for the day. Then we have a space here, and we have this identifier. And that is what this W will do here. We'll put that whole word in this identifier. So if we were to do identifier here, we will get that identifier. And then we have $S here, which basically means throw away the space. Alternatively, you could have also done this. This would be valid as well. So then if I were to say my float, they will still get 12.3. But if we would do $S, it will throw away that white space. Now the benefit of $S is, let's say we have this here. And now we have two white spaces here up the top. Look at, there's two white spaces, not one. So if we were to run this, you'll notice nothing happens because our input doesn't match. However, if we were to put a $S here, it will throw away both of these white spaces here, which will make it match and give us that 12.3 we expect from my float. So that's the point of $S. So it might seem useless, but once you have more than one space, it can greatly reduce the risk that if some data were to come in and have the wrong format, you can easily fix that by just putting a $S there and make sure those spaces are ignored. Now, this is just a very basic example of what you can do. There are a lot more options out there that you can even throw in here, such as $B, which will look for a binary integer. It will pretty much just use parse utils.parse bin, in case you are wondering. You also have $O, which will look for an octal integer, $H for an hex integer, and so on and so on. And if you want to specifically match a dollar symbol, you can do it with $. So it will escape this dollar here. and so on. So there's a lot more you can actually do. You can take a look at the documentation I wrote in the description for more information about it, as well as the actual num docs, because there's so much here that you can do, and it can become very complex, but this is a good example of a starter point where you can actually take these values, parse input with it, and then generate yourself an output. For example, this person was born in year at exactly, and let's say my float. Now if you were to run this, you can take that strange input and you can use it to generate yourself a nice output. Anyhow, so thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you all again in the next nim tutorial.